host, Jurassic Parker.
You know what? This is not competitive. I hear it. This is what you're talking about.
It's not even competitive. It's not even competitive. It's the fact that people pump themselves up to be something that they're not. And when you are with as much as we see Trump do the things that he does and say the things and lead the people down a path that is down to their detriment, all those January 6th folks, you know, that said, well, Trump told me to do this. Trump said I could do this or whatever, yada, yada, yada. They're going to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, and what was the purpose? For his own ego. You know, if you have to have people validate who you are as a person, then you've got work to do on yourself. You know, everything that I've been doing the therapy because I need the help. But nah, you say a certain name and because what sucks about this is that I have tried to help the child, Lasheen. I've tried to help him. He has sent me edits of photos that we've taken because he was in my X-Men cosplay showcase and that I did at Baltimore Comic-Con 2022, 2021, whichever one. And you know, we took a picture together, Cyclops and Gambit, and he edited himself. And I was like, well, maybe you should pay someone to do it, you know, as a professional job. But at the same time, the photo that was taken had very bad lighting, so he didn't really, have too much to work with. And I sent him examples as to professional photos that were taken of me and that were edited by other people. And he was like, well, I was just, you know, trying something different, and it was, you know, just, you know, some tip. And I was like, oh, that's fine, that's cool. But if you want to post something, you know, and want people to actually take notice of it, then you have to just keep cooking and get better, or have someone that is professional do it. But I wouldn't post that. And that's all that I said to him. Tell me why it gets back to me that he's popping shit about me being an elitist, and, you know, and I have his voice notes. People sent me his voice notes to a fucking private chat. I heard him say, who is this elitist thinking he's the shit? Telling me that I'm like, dog, I was just trying to be like objective, you know, because my image is in there as well. So I would want to be presented and represented in the best way possible. And so I'm just being honest with you, as opposed to sugarcoating things or coddling you. I'm just being real with you, you know. And he took that as something that was so offensive, you know, to the point where he wanted to actually call me outside my name, you know, to somebody who didn't think that it was going to, you know, it was going to get back to me. I'm like, that's the kind of time we're on. That's the kind of time we're on. You know what I mean? And then when I was at Fan Expo this year, my panel was just after his, and I had my son with me. And for my son to be comfortable in large spaces, he has to be there for a while. So I'm listening to Lasheen's. He went around and sent and gave people screenshots, like print out screenshots of people calling him outside of his name, or calling him fat, or calling him, you know, nigga this or nigga that or whatever. And he was basically trauma dumping on a group of really young cosplayers. And he was trying to tell them, you got to fight back, you know, any opportunity you possibly have. When you can try to educate folks, but when they don't adhere to your mentality, then you got to go on the offensive and look like you got to bully them. And I'm like, and I stepped up to him when it came time for the question and the answer. And I got the mic there was no other microphone. So I took his mic from him, and I was like, listen, I turned around, everything he just told y'all was bullshit. Because when you have corporate entities, when you are out there in the public on the internet, you are only as good as the last thing that is in black and white. You know what I mean? Whatever comment that you put out there, whatever video you put out there, people are going to remember that. And if they want to work with you, they're going to remember whether or not you are somebody that can handle criticism. We are black. We are, you know, there are people out there who are LGBTQ+. There are people out there who are indigenous. There are people out there who are just, you know, people of color. We're always going to get some level of static, you know. And if you are someone who can't handle that because you're afflicted with a certain type of fragility, you know, then why would they trust you to be a sponsor for you? Why would they trust you with anything? You know, like, you have to realize that you have to be as professional as possible in every space, because again, that same mantra that we've always gotten, you got to be twice as good to get half as much, is absolutely true. You know, and you just can't be popping off on everybody for you to feel like that you got one up on someone else. That's not the way it works. You know, not out here where I'm having conversations with Mattel, I'm having conversations with, you know, with entertainment, you know, studios or whatever, and how I handle myself in a public space allows for them to trust me. And if you go off of what this man says, you are going to put yourself in a box that'll never have you do something more than what you're doing now. You know, and you're and honestly, whenever you see a cosplayer out there talking about, I got this trophy and I did this and I'm the man here and there, how many times there's that saying from Game of Thrones, you know, from Tywin Lannister, says, if any man has to say that he's a king, he's no real true king. You know what I mean? So I'm not sitting here saying that I'm just spouting off at the mouth because I'm angry, I'm upset, but I don't like the fact that there are people out there that are propping themselves up to be more than what they actually are, and they are representing us in a very negative light because they can't see that shit, because they can't see beyond their own selves. You know, we are Black cosplayers that are trying to make a difference. And the only reason we're trying to make a difference, or reason we have to make a difference, is because we have to be the difference that we want to see.
Right.
We got to be the change we want to see. And if you got people out here that are telling folks, be angry all the time, go after this person all the time, and not have the emotional maturity to say, you know what, let me see if I can turn this troll into an algorithm booster. You know, so let me separate myself from my emotions and just ask the person, what do you mean by that? Boost the visibility of your video by having genuine engagement, you know, by just controlling your own emotions. That's how you go viral. You know what I mean? You don't go viral by being the angry man in the room.
There's nothing worse, I would say, for society, in like to fall into that area of the angry Black man. You know, no one wants to be
angry
there.
Black woman, or the angry Black woman.
Yeah, you know, I like to change that narrative. Like, if somebody they can not necessarily be a racist person, but just never hung around Black people, just never, because that's just their day-to-day, their town, whatever. But they only see what they see on TV. Maybe not even have that in their, or like in their bone to be a racist, but they just see what they see on TV, and it just, or whatever. It just happens, you know, because of what they see. But if you could change that narrative for if they meet you, it's like, oh well, you know, this Black person is just nice. What I saw on TV, this person's pretty cool. This is a nice person. He's actually very helpful. Nothing what I saw on TV.
That's exactly what happened in the first season of The Real World.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You know
I missed The Real World. I really missed The Real World. Honestly, I wanted to get on The Real World or Road Rules Challenge when I was a kid. Those were my shows. But the main thing, I love that dynamic of different people getting together from different sides of the world, like different cities and stuff. You have a Mormon that's hanging around with a Black dude from the hood or whatever. It's just, I miss that. I really do.
Fun fact, I had to turn down The Real World back in 2006 when it came to DC, because I was going into Capitol Police, and there was no way I could do it and have a job when I come back out. But you know what I mean, because they don't take people over the age of 25, because by the age of 25 your brain is fully formed and you start making stupid ass decisions. That's why they take them. But yeah, you know what I mean, like if you paid attention to the fact that of just history, you know, the first movie to be showed in the White House was Birth of a Nation. A Birth of a Nation, right? Where basically the Black Mandingo warrior was the villain, and the white Ku Klux Klan man was the hero, the
savior. Yeah,
right. You know, and like they have this ingrained mythology in their minds that Black men are the bane of their existence, and they have to take us out, or they have to defend against us. And with the way that media has portrayed us, you know, whether we are drug dealers, whether we are thugs, whether we are everything other than a child of God, you know, That's all that middle America truly knows about black people.
Right.
And then when they go to college and they happen to interact with black folks the way that you just described in the real world, then that's their culture shock to realize that maybe they don't know everything that they thought that they did.
Right.
You know, so it's not our job to change the narrative. It's our job to just be the change, because we know that we are better than what has been portrayed before. You know what I mean? So, you know, when I see examples of someone leaning into the narrative that we should be a certain way based on how they feel, as opposed to how we have emotionally and intelligent, and mentally evolved over the years, because we do have more education, we do have more access to information so that we can be more educated, then we need to stop moving based on our emotions and start moving based on our intellect. And everything that I saw in front of me is, like, when it comes to Lachine, is him moving based on his emotional immaturity. And if he's going to be a representative for the black cosplay community, someone needs to check him. And if it's not going to be me, because he can't handle what comes out of my mouth, you know, then it's got to be someone else that's going to that can be like, they can pull him to the side, because he's been doing some bullshit that, you know, he doesn't think he did anything wrong for. Like, and then because of this interaction, he's blocked me from the black cosplay group on Facebook. You know, because he's that kind of bitch made. You know what I mean? You can't handle it, so that you'll remove me from a group. Big whoop, nigga. Like,
you know, see, I'm all about love and everything. So it's just like, I just, you know,
I know, but see, that's the thing. I don't start.
I kind of, I get it, and I don't know, you know, we all have this love for cosplay and everything. You know, we all do certain things to get to where we gotta be, or, you know, we all find different paths and stuff, and, you know.
But some paths don't need to be taken, because, like, his whole thing where, yes, he has a Caucasian wife, but you're Homelander drinking breast milk from your wife, and you put those photos in a black cosplay group, and you don't expect static? Like, read the room. You know, yes, it's fine. Love your wife. Love the union that y'all have. But understand that not everyone has to be as tolerant for what you put out there when you are forcing it in a space that it wasn't for. You know what I mean? That was nothing but, to me, a clout chase. And if you have to chase the clout like that, you're not doing the justice for anybody.
You did a Homelander as well too, didn't you?
I did Homelander during the pandemic, and I got crucified by other black cosplayers because they think that I actually got told by other black people that I should not be cosplaying as a white character.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I remember
I've had
during that
bullshit.
I remember that moment. I remember because I thought it was dope. I thought it looked good, but I didn't think of, like, being negative about it. Like, and I remember seeing some of the comments, but it's just like, I didn't think, maybe just a few. I didn't bother to read the rest of them.
It was bad. It was bad. They came up with fan art where they blackface a Homelander.
Oh my gosh!
These are black folks. These are black folks who did this to me. You know what I mean? These are people who said that that Hinata, you know, is going to be black today, but then but tomorrow, because it's HellSpawned Cosplay, he can't be Homelander because he was into a Nazi chick. No, he wasn't into her. He was more into himself than anything else.
Yeah, he was actually. He didn't. Matter of fact, he denied her actually more, because he's like it wasn't that she was a Nazi. He didn't even know she was into that. He just like, I hate everybody. He hate everybody equally. He thought she was on the same page. Oh, you hate people too? I hate them all. Yeah. You know, like, everybody should die. You think so too? Great. Yeah. But you're that type of person. Oh, I didn't know you was that. Okay, hold up. Okay, let me just. And then I just hate everybody equally.
I took photos and video of me burning Trump's flag as Homelander.
I
and,
love
and
that.
people,
But I
and people
love
still
that.
didn't get
I
it.
remember that. That was so awesome. I was
Oh,
for
like,
me, that was awesome. I loved it.
I think that's pretty definitive as to where my stance is when I'm doing a political cosplay. You know,
Yeah.
because that's exactly what that was. And like everyone has the right to utilize their art however they want to. And me, why is it so different for me to do that? I don't understand it, you know. But of course, because people don't like me and or they don't like the trajectory that I've had, of course I'm going to be the villain in their story, you know.
Yeah.
With that, but they don't even. It got so bad they started talking shit about my son, my guy.
Ugh.
You know what I mean?
See,
Like my son.
you don't go to the children. Like I have a soft spot there. You don't go to kids. You don't attack kids, no matter who kids they is. Like if you're over the age of 18, 21, whatever, you can go right ahead, try to,
No.
you know, if you
Talk
want to
shit.
say crap.
You want to talk shit about me? Talk shit about me.
Yeah, but
Everyone
not the
else,
babies.
that's those are like the rules from The Wire. Like you don't kill nobody on Sunday, and and you don't go after nobody else's family. Whatever beef you got with that person.
That person, yep.
You know,
Yeah.
and like, and the
Yeah.
thing is, these folks just don't understand what consequences are. Because I bet you bottom dollar, a lot of these people ain't never been in no fight, let alone won one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's so crazy how folks can get out of line online, but then yet when you see them in conventions, they checking the thread count in their shoelaces, you know. And I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like none of y'all got, and that's why it's been so difficult for me to navigate the cosplay community, as opposed to just removing myself from it and just doing as much good work as I possibly can, and then the community just benefits from that. You know what I mean? Because trying to work with folks that hate you, you know what I mean? Like it's just there was a thread that came out either last week or 2 weeks ago where black men were talking about how much they hate their girlfriends or something or another. And it was terrible. I was like, yo, if you hate women so much, why are you with them? You know what I mean? Like but that's how some cosplayers really like exist, is that we are here, but people hate us because they're not us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you can learn so much from somebody who might be doing better than you, and they might want to pull you up with you and with them, and y'all could just rock together. But then there's jealousy and there's envy and all that bullshit just puts them in a place where, you know, they are never going to get out of where they are because they won't allow themselves to be. You know?
Yeah. I look at when I first got into cosplay, getting into cosplay for me was one, I wanted to try something different, and also I was just a huge nerd. So you know, but also I have nieces and nephews. I have 3 nieces. I have one nephew, and like I always wanted to try to show them you could choose other paths. You could do other things. You don't have to stick to what you know, like to what's around you, your neighborhood, or what type of friends you have, whatever. Like you can try other things. If you got other interests, do it. You know, that's positive, do it. Try it. And to put that light out there, show more cosplay stuff from other people of color and other cosplayers and myself, and for them to see, oh, this is what my uncle does. And it's cool. You know, this is not what your average, my uncle don't do what your uncle does, but this is still cool. And he has other friends that do it too. And by me getting to this world, I have garnered so many different people that I've met that, you know, have been really dope ass people. A few of my best friends came from like being in this world, you know, and it's just like, this is, you know, what I love to do. But I do hate that the parts of the negativity parts where, like, you know, where we do have those bashing of each other, especially when it comes to like color, you know, where you think, oh wait, we're all nerds. It doesn't matter what color we look like we all love the same character. You know, why can't we just enjoy it? You know, no matter what a person look like, you know, the color, you know, like we all love this person, this character that somehow, some way made us not choose another life, you know, that could be detrimental to us, you know. and that inspired us. Like mine is Power Rangers. It took years for me to let people know, like, yeah, I like Power Rangers. Yeah, to find other people like, oh, you like Power Rangers too? Like it's the funniest thing.
You see, the thing is, everyone's experience is so different, but then there's so many stories that you hear that are the same. And the thing is, like, I was on a panel at BlurredCon back in 2018 where
I still gotta go there.
It was like how different blurs grew up. You know what I mean? And like you had like there was a queer blurred, you had someone who's just really introverted, and you had some folks who just really weren't like, who were just like in the sciences, and you had my black ass that I was on the homecoming court. I was I was in multiple sports. I was in ROTC, and I was still selling VHS dubs of Dragon Ball Z from the Cell saga all the way through the Boo saga, and I had all 13 movies in the 3 OVAs because I had paid $200. I paid $200 off of eBay to get these sets of VHS tapes, and I made $4,000 in a week by just dubbing them, because
you were that guy. You were that guy in school.
Yeah, I was that guy selling this stuff out of my locker, because there was Toonami. Was it? Yeah, it was Toonami. Toonami was still stuck on the Namek saga, and I was showing people, like, we had Super Saiyan, Super Saiyajin 2, and they were like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? I'm like, oh yes. So watch the Cell games. Here, it's $40 for these two. You know what I mean?
Thank you. People like you, the people that put the time and effort in to help us get through that. I'm glad that now I know that you were one of those people. Thank you, because we didn't have the access to the internet as we do now to just hop on anything, Crunchyroll or whatever, to watch these shows. But you were that link to get us over to the next day,
And the only reason I knew that this was something special is because I'm the only one who knew the melody for "We Got Power" or "We Got a Power," which is like the new theme song for DBZ beyond Chala Head Chala. You know what I mean? And everybody was just stuck on that, or that Dragon, Rockin' Dragon. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Yes. But We Got Power, like that song, y'all. And they're like, what are you talking about? Then I showed them. They're like, oh. I was like, see? It was like, who's that little? I was like, that's Goten. That's his son. That's his second son. They're like, he had another kid. I'm like,
oh my god, yeah, you were that guy. You were that guy. You were that link to the other side of the world that we didn't know about. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's amazing to know that you were that person.
I got those VHS tapes too.
Oh my god, jeez. VHS. Nobody knows about VHS. Look it up, guys. If you don't know what a VHS is, please look it up. Please. Or ask your mama, your sister, like your older sibling. Somebody got it in their house still, because I know I do. Speaking of this, I gotta tell you, man. With today's climate in culture, in the Black community and whatnot, and how I've seen a lot of the displays of how they look at Black men and fatherhood and whatnot, and it's a lot of negativity. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they don't really want to portray, even with our own, with media and with our own culture. Like, I see so much online and stuff. It's pretty bad. And being somebody who looks forward to being a father one day, and someone who has lost their father a few years ago, to see. Thank you. Fuck cancer. That's what I would say. Seeing you with your son. I got a couple more questions, but after this. But
no, you got it. I was just responding to apparently something's happened at Dragon Con, and they want me to be available to have a conversation. I'm like, okay.
Oh.
Okay. See, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, like I was on a cosplay track. Have you been to Dragon Con?
No, I've been wanting to go. There's a few cons I've been wanting to go, have not gone to yet. BlurredCon is one, and Dragon Con is another.
this was my first year going, and I didn't know that they had like panels that were segmented off, and they're called tracks. And like when you go to the convention and inside of these hotels and stuff, they have different colored tape on the floor as if it was like a metro system map or something.
Right.
And like if you're on the cosplay track, follow the blue line. If you're on the digital media track, follow like the yellow line. And honestly, they hit me up after Dragon Con, the first time, this digital media track thing, and I'm like, what is this? And apparently that's what's happening. And like because of what's happening with Blurred Station and how I'm helping that streaming service become thing, like apparently I'm someone to talk to. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's because with what I'm trying to do with Blurred Station, I am trying to help that be a real streaming service for Black nerds. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
I'm glad you went there. I'm glad you went there. I was going to ask you about Blurred Station.
Yeah, we'll talk. I mean, I want to hear what you guys say about the whole, the son and the father thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just say that with what I'm trying to do is what San Diego Comic-Con does for Hulu and for Disney Plus and for all of them, because we don't have anything like that on the East Coast, where a convention wants to house a streaming service or an entertainment company. And if I can be the broker between that and then be, basically the liaison and bring Dragon Con and Blurred Station together, not only will we all have a foothold within Black owned comic book conventions,
right,
and cater specifically to them, we'll have major visibility with the large convention that is Dragon Con. So I'm trying to be the bridge between people who have decision-making power with that. Right. And if I can make that happen, then you're going to see a different kind of Dragon Con or a different kind of, that is akin to San Diego, because that kind of experience is exclusive to San Diego, exclusive to D23.
And Dragon Con is where's Dragon Con based out of? Like
Atlanta.
Oh, okay. That's why. Okay. That's why I can never get to it. It's not a drive easy. It's not an easy drive either. No. So I gotta fly over there. See, that's the thing with me in flights. Yeah, I have fear of heights. So I've been wanting to go to not so much San Diego, because I've heard how crowded that place could be and you're on top of each other. But I do want to try it out at least one time. But I do want to go to Power Morphicon though.
It's Mecca. I haven't been to Power Morphicon, but going to San Diego feels like home.
Really? Which is better? New York? Have you been to New York Comic Con?
I have not.
Okay. I still haven't gone either.
Okay, so if you want to talk about racial, and that's even changing at San Diego.
Ooh.
That's changing, because now there are more between last year and this year. There have been more blurred events than one can attend. Because they're starting to overlap with one another, so you have to pick and choose. And it got to the point where I was passing out little cards with the QR code on the back. It was a green book for all of the Black events happening at San Diego.
That you made a green book.
Yeah,
I love it. No, this is dope.
It was lovely. It was San Diego had never had so many Black people coalesce in so many different spaces all at once, and it was amazing. The first time that it happened was at the Blurred and Bougie party back in 2019, and it was like this is what's changing, is that we as Blurreds are becoming more prominent in the entertainment space. And now since Blurred Station is actually catering to the Black nerd, we are actually giving people the opportunity to not only get the entertainment that represents them, but to get paid to be entertained. You know what I mean? But we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I'm sorry, my excitement for the conventions changing the space and everything is just there, because if you want to again talk about racial, I'm pretty sure New York Comic Con has a great amount of concentration of Black folks that just enjoy themselves at that convention. Yeah. And the only time I've experienced that kind of convention in a larger space is at BlurredCon, and then at San Diego, which also I know that DreamCon is catering to the same type of demographic, but then ever since I put together BlurredandPowerful.com, I have a list of Black-owned comic book conventions. I didn't know that there was a convention owned by two Haitian brothers in Miami called Otaku Fest. I want to know what kind of parties they got.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you got to get this. Yeah, I would love to know more about these.
BlurredandPowerful.com has a list of Black-owned comic book conventions throughout the states. But yeah,
that's amazing.
So I'm sorry to derail you. But yeah, let's go back. You were saying something about the way they interact with my son.
Oh yes, man, I didn't know there was so many other blurred stuff out there. But okay, yeah. So, yes, from seeing how you are with your son and seeing, what the media put out, what our own culture put out, the negativity out there. And I know other guys. I have other friends that have their kids, and but they're not so into cosplay as well. Put them in, let them do their own thing. I love it. But to see the interaction that you have and what you show out there, the message you put out there, that those positive, great, good vibrations that you put out there to the world with your son. Like I said, like somebody was chopping onions when I saw the video that you posted last. I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is beautiful.
Oh,
like
the claws.
Yes. Like the face that he gave you, like the moment he got both claws. It's like, because I was like, you gave that boy just one? Come on, you gotta have both. And then he had the both. And then the look at his face and he look at you, it's like, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Like, and then we don't get enough out there. We don't get enough of that out in the world, especially online, to like show other people, this is what it looks like to have a father in the home. This is what happened. This is what it looks like for when a boy has a father figure, not just a father figure, but their dad, their father, teaching them, being there, being present, like that whole aesthetic that you have there, from the artwork and everything is powerful. It's a powerful message that I thank you for putting that out there. It's like, it's a beautiful thing. And it's just like, man, like I tell my brother-in-law all the time. I tell my brother, all the time how I feel like him and my nephew, their bond, and like, but keep it going, saying, and just to see how you got yours with your son, I'm like, dang, he's doing something. Like it's like, I don't think you know how it like it's. You put it out there for yourself, and show people that, hey, this is my family, this is my life. But you're also posting like, we out here, fathers are out here. We in these streets. We are with our kids and raising them, and raising them. And my way, you raising them right. You gotta, hooking them up with the blurred life. I'm just saying, a blurred family ain't nothing. Hey, there's nothing wrong with a nice little blurred family putting out there, getting them out there, raised on the right stuff.
The thing is, like his mother and I, we are not together. We do not get along. She's more into sports, whether it be like basketball, what I mean? And so she's trying to get him into that, and that's fine. That's cool. She's the sort where she feels like, he needs to have all kinds of shoes, all kinds of basically that kind of mentality. And I've seen the kind of guy that comes from being spoiled on that level where, because I used to, like in the 90s, when I was like at the lunchroom, middle school table or whatever, some parents would show up to school in the middle of like lunch and put new Jordans on their kids' feet. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that is some like pretentious ass shit. Like that is whatever. But at the same time, they became bullies themselves. They became the, we only listened to like Biggie and Tupac and like Lauryn Hill type stuff. And you watching Power Rangers back in 1993 was not the right thing to do, because you're 8 years old. You're supposed to be doing something more. I'm like, I'm 8. You know what I mean? Like I'm watching Mighty Max and all this, and like I'm watching these things and I'm being
love Mighty Max.
right. I'm being persecuted, and like if people knew how dark that show really was.
It was dark. It was. Don't let the little playscape thing fool you. Little toy fool. No, that was a dark show. That was a dark show.
Between that and like Rico's Roughnecks, you know what I mean? Like there's a whole host of things.
I haven't heard that in so long. Jesus. Oh my gosh.
So, man, I was just talking about, because like one of the shows we got coming up from Blur Station is based kind of in the concept of like King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. So, but wait, with kind of like a Visionaries feel to it. See, I'm saying things to you that makes you tingle, because that's what nostalgia does.
Like
right.
I already got the shield coming out my chest, the sword coming out my chest. Like I was a huge King Arthur fan. The mythos of the whole Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur, Greek mythology, like Hercules, Xena stuff. I was like, even though I love Power Rangers and stuff, but I was definitely into a lot of those Greek mythologies, like Conan the Barbarian. Yes, man. Like, it like you talk about, man. You brought up like what was it? What was the show you just said? Oh my god, Mighty Max, and it's just like, I could. It's not many people that can remember that or talk about it and know how dark it was. You're one of the few that remembers that show to be like, yeah, that show was dark. I love that.
So was Reboot. You know what I mean? Some of the alternate episodes of like
Extreme Ghostbusters.
There was a freaking like the alternate episodes of the alternate universe episodes of Captain Planet. You know what I mean? And when Captain Pollution was a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there were some dark, like the 90s didn't give a fuck. Like they had
RoboCop as a cartoon.
Woo! Dog, I just pulled a comic that I had from RoboCop 3, and the fact that you said that, and he had like the wings and all the jetpack. See, we had some really good shit that back in the day, and we do not innovate at all now.
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
And if we innovate, it happens to be black, because we have things that I've got things I can show you, but I can't talk about.
No.
And, and then when I send it to you, it's going to be in vanishing mode.
Okay. Okay. All right. I respect it. Okay. All right.
But I'll be able to talk about it in a few weeks.
Okay. Hey, I'm fine with that. I'm cool with it, dude. I would say our generation had like the best cartoons, because like you say, they didn't give a fuck. We had R-rated movies put as cartoons. Like there was no reason for us to have Rambo as a cartoon. There was no reason to have RoboCop, Talk to the Avengers. Like there was
Ultra Force was not supposed to be something that was real.
I was just talking about Ultra Force on a previous episode, and we were just talking about something that we could do outside of Avengers as forefront. And I was at Ultra Force. That was my Nightman. Come on, man. Nightman.
Ooh,
come on.
Nightman. Look. I got Topaz right there, and then you talk about another one is Wildcats. You know what I mean? Like
Come on now. Come on. You speaking to my childhood right now. Ooh, like
Let's see.
Hold up. Was it where's my boy? With Green Dragon? He was a cop.
Talking about Double Dragon? No, not Double
Dragon. Not Double Dragon, which was a fun show. I'd still mess. I try to get all the figures too. Yes, Jimmy Lee and Billy Lee. Yes.
Yeah.
He was on. I forgot the name. He was a cop. He's got a mo. It was like Finn. It was a Finn. It was, I think
Savage Dragon.
Savage, yes.
Dragon.
Yes, Savage Dragon was on USA.
Yeah. Around like
Mortal Kombat was a cartoon.
We had Mortal Kombat, but it wasn't Ren and Stimpy, but there was another show.
Duckman.
Yep.
Yes,
my man.
I love Duckman.
My man.
Oh my god, Duckman was my show.
Eon Flux.
Eon Flux. Dude,
all this stuff was like. This was like.
I was so disappointed when I watched I was so disappointed when I watched the movie. I'm like, this is nothing. This is not my Eon Flux. This is
why do I not see a fly in someone's eyelashes? Like, what is not happening? What's happening right now?
What's it, my boy? He was purple with like this one claw, kind of like Spanish. And it was during that whole Eon Flux period too on MTV. And I can't think of his name. I think it was like not the Thing or something. And it was back to back with another show called The Head. It was this black dude who had this huge head that opens up with an alien inside of it. I remember that show too. God, there was so many. Man, as I explained it, that is a weird show. As I just explained what that was. Jeez. Man, there was a lot of shows back then.
We had a lot of content back in the day for sure.
And I still bring up Tattoo Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly.
Dog, you are lying right now.
I still bring it up. I still secretly I kind of want to do that cosplay one day. I just want to get some biker shorts.
So there was that one. Wasn't there one?
There was
the tattoo. There was that one. No, there was a
Tattoo Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills. Then there was also you had Superhero Samurai
Squad. But no, there was another one. The Zodiac. There was a Zodiac one.
There was a Zodiac live action.
Yes.
Zodiac. Oh man. No, but that's what there was because they had the tattoos on the hands.
Was it the same one?
Yes, the little Zodiacs. Yeah, it was like the little green, the little goopy thing. They big ass Zordon. It was so weird. Man, that show's messed up. And not all the way PG too. Honestly, it was some of those episodes. But yeah, man, we could go on and on with these shows. Man, we really could. Tell me more about But yes, so thank you for, like I said before, putting it out there with your son. Showing Black fathers out here. It's a beautiful thing.
That entire thing. There's a morbid side to me where I want to make sure that, let's just say I get taken out randomly in a car accident, or like there's so many different things that can take us out. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now that I have this little boy, I need to make sure he understands that I love him the way that I do. And I can only do that with photos and videos, the way that, because my parents still have a lot of photo albums, like they, and we've evolved to going to like the cloud and using thumb drives and all this other stuff. But one of the best clouds in the world is Facebook. And and honestly, like I have like whenever I see him, whenever I get my hands on him and he's with me and whatever, I do like these posts, where before it was like tummy time training, or TTT, and now it's like hero training, and I'm like up to like hero training number 158. I have albums. His main album, I've got 3,995 photos and 3,110 videos.
Jesus.
And his cosplay album, I've got like 507 photos and 178 videos. It's just, he will. And then now that I got TikTok and I'm able to, let him just run. Like I can just let him sit in front of a camera and just let him see who he was as he was growing up. And as a 4-year-old, he's telling people to like and subscribe. You know what I mean? And there's nothing, he don't have no channel or nothing like that, but I see him for the sponge that he is. And to the earlier point, whereas his mother has him in like sports and has him in that cool kid, clothes and wear fitted hats and all that stuff, I am allowing him to be as free as he wants to be in the blurred space, because I don't know who he's going to be as he grows up.
Right.
And so my mindset is I want to allow for him to be comfortable in every space. It was, I had to learn how to transition from being a cool kid to a library kid, and like back in like say the early 2000s and late 90s, to be a library kid, you were playing Counter-Strike in the library. You know what I mean? You were figuring out what you know, what seeds were when you were, you know, doing torrents. You know what I mean? Like you were doing a lot
Yeah.
of stuff back in the day that cool kids didn't care about, you know. But we were downloading music before it became popular on Kazaa or on like LimeWire. Like we knew that world was, right? And for my son, I really, you know, when he got here, I realized that I needed to get my shit together as far as just being an individual that people could rock with, because the whole sins of the father thing is a real deal. You know, I don't want him moving around in this space or moving around in the world and be like, oh, he might be cool, but his dad's a piece of shit, so therefore I'm not gonna fuck with him. You know, that's what happened to Todoroki, you know, in Endeavor. You know what I mean? Like that's because of his hatred for his father, he exuded his father's hatred for All Might. You know what I mean? Like he just, and that whole Wind dude. You know what I mean? Like if you watch My Hero Academia, that's a story that is as old as time. You know, and I don't want to be in that generational cycle of trauma where he gets the brunt or he gets the runoff from my errors. You know, so yes, that's when I started going to therapy and started realizing how I can show love in a very effective way, in a very healthy way, to the point where I can allow him to cry. I can hug him. I can tell him that I love him. I can, you know what I mean? Nothing, I mean, my dad didn't do anything wrong as far as say that he not tell me he loved me or he didn't hug me or anything like that. But I hear stories all the time about how other people didn't have that good of interactions with their fathers. Right. And like people, like dudes come up to me or they send me messages and tell me that, you know, they wish that I was their dad. And I was like, oh, that's heavy. That's heavy.
I mean, dude, it's a weird thing to like, I mean, one, how brave a person or just like she's to go through the mind that actually like, you know what, I'm gonna let this man know, but I wish you were my dad, like, you know, another grown man. But it's just like, you know, I get that. I honestly get that because yeah, I had my father around at the time, but I looked at a lot of my friends' dads like, oh man, your dad's way cooler than mine, because they were like doing all these fun father-son things as like growing up, and I'm like, I'd be hating. I remember sometimes I'd be hating, like, oh, that's nice, oh, that's cool. You know, not my father was bad or nothing, but you know, right. He just had a different path. You know, we did certain things here and there, but as I got older, things stopped to happen. So we like when the crucial times that you're growing as a kid, as from a boy to a man, that teenage years. That's where you just like, okay, I need the guidance. So I had to look at other places. Luckily, my grandmother was around, but I had to look at other places for that, you know, to help me through. So to see you have this with your son, it's like, man, he's doing all the right moves. He's hitting all the right points right here. He's doing it. He's getting it. You know,
I can only hope, man.
I mean, I do. You know, for what I see, you got it going good, man. Like, you're doing a great job, amazing job. And I always give credit to my friends, you know, like guys I see as fathers doing their damn thing. I'm like, yes. I give some guys grief, like, dude, you need to set this shit up. Like, I had a good friend. I had a buddy of mine who had like 3 kids, like, coming, or like it was like 2 kids coming. He was just still playing video games, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
It's come on. You really do have to set yourself aside, because now you're responsible for another life. You know, like when he was just, you know, an infant, you know, and I was still like, you know, feeding him milk and all this stuff. Like that was when the pandemic like had hit, and like it just didn't make sense to go anywhere. So I was like just basically home watching One Piece, you know, while I had him. Like, because it took me 8 months to watch 965 episodes of One Piece. Jeez. And I had him with me, you know, every opportunity that I could to, you know, when I was watching it. Yeah. And I just wanted it like in the background, you know. And I used to game. I used to play like a lot of Destiny. Like I've been playing Destiny since it came out. You know what I mean? So I've been playing Destiny for the last 9 years, and I've taken a break right now because I'm on Mortal Kombat 1. And the thing is, I was playing, like, I would have him with me while I was feeding him with like the bottle here, while still, playing the game, because I was still running this raid with my clan. And now I can't. I mean, there was a time where I hadn't played anything for a year, but now I'm introducing him. I've given him my old Xbox One.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how slow that some bitch was until you get an XS. You're like, yo, why is it taking so long for Killer Instinct to load? Like, I don't get it. Like, what is happening here? But yeah, I gave him one of my old controllers that broke a little bit as far as like the right bumper, but he's still learning, because I got him playing Trials HD and Killer Instinct, and I just loaded Tekken 7 on that. So I'm trying to give him an opportunity to learn how to use both thumbs at the same time. Right. And while I'm playing Mortal Kombat 1 next to him. So I got the two TVs going, like there's one 48-inch and the other one's 60. Anyways, we got two TVs right there next to each other in the living room. So he's playing one, or he's excited because he's playing, this motorcycle game or whatever, and I'm playing, this, and I have to cover his eyes every time I do a fatality. But you know what I mean? It's like this is the opportunity to lean into what I like and just give him a choice. Yeah. He loves monster trucks. I used to love monster trucks, but he loves them more than he does like superheroes. But of course, you've seen my room, like that whole corner underneath the spawn stuff that's open. Yeah, there's a whole ass box there of a lot of my old toys, like a lot of the old Iron Man and stuff like that. A lot of stuff is in there. Stuff that I opened back in the day, like stuff that I had when I was like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. That's sitting right there for him when he's ready. Like this.
Oh my gosh, so beautiful.
This here is my old lunchbox. You know what I mean? From the '89 Batman.
Bro.
So
awesome.
If he's ever wanting to have a lunchbox that's like authentically something that he came from the 80s,
yeah,
he's got it. So I did keep a lot of stuff.
That's dope.
And I just feel like it's our responsibility as parents to not only give them more of what we had, but then let them appreciate what is here, what has come before them. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Because how else are we going to have a non-spoiled child that does that beats me up because he wants more candy? Swear that was this weekend, bro. Like, how you gonna tell me I don't love you anymore because I don't want to give you any candy? Like, what? Like, I said you can have some later. You can have more later. I didn't say you can't have any more now.
But you know what? That's a funny and beautiful thing, because at least you don't have to like say you don't love me no more because you're not giving me like these Jordans or something like that, or this type of T-shirt or whatever. The materialistic stuff. You just want candy. He's a child. He wants candy. It's awesome. It's just a beautiful thing. It's a dope. Those are the moments where, as he gets older, you go like you reflect and laugh about it later. He's like, man, I remember you just trying to beat me up because you want more candy. Now you're driving to work and stuff. These are the moments, man.
I can see that.
Oh god, we can go on for so much. Right? I don't want to take too much of your time more. This has been amazing. No, man, this has been wonderful. This is I definitely think, man, we have to talk more outside of this thing, because it's a lot.
Let me talk.
There's a lot we got here.
Let me talk about Blurred Station.
Oh yes, Blurred Station and Blurred and Powerful. That's another one.
Okay, so Blurred and Powerful is my thing that I founded, where I want to boost the notoriety of Black-owned comic book conventions. Whether they be like BlurredCon or J1Con or Black Label Comic Con. I mean, like these are conventions that are beneficial. The confluence. Like, there's so many things that can come from boosting a black convention, that it should be the first thing on all of our minds. And the reason why it's not is because people don't know how much of a benefit or how much value is actually attributed to these conventions. So you go to these conventions and you see artists there, right? You see artists in the artist alley, you see creators and all this other stuff. These people are willing to talk to you about anything and everything, as far as the path that they've been on, as far as how it is to work for Marvel, how it is to work for DC, Image, all this other stuff. Why are not our kids talking to them? It's because these conventions don't last but only Saturday and Sunday, if that. So what if we were able to get a convention enough funds to exhibit on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? During the spring or during the fall, we would have these kids from the local school system be bussed in, have a field trip to the Black convention, and have them have one-on-ones with these artists, so they can have a different option. Because isn't that what you said to me earlier, is that you want to show that kids have other options than just going a trade route, or they can be creative, or they can see themselves be more than what's just been presented to them at that particular moment in time. And that's what this is all about. If we can get kids to see more of them, more of us themselves in an adult fashion or whatever, then they can visualize it for themselves. And then I can take, as far as the revenue that conventions can bring, I use San Diego Comic-Con as an example. There's 140,000 people per day that go to these conventions, right? The city shuts down all of the hotel industry and the restaurants and all that stuff in order to cater to the people who come to San Diego. And everyone else is getting a financial boost, whether it be the city's infrastructure with the city transportation, or again the small businesses, whether it be the clubs or the restaurants, all that stuff. There's so much money being pumped into the city that houses the convention that you can't deny that a large convention boosts the financial structure of the city. And then the final point is, everyone talks about how we need to support Black-owned businesses. If you support a Black-owned comic book convention, you support 70 Black-owned businesses, because those are the vendors within the convention. And we're talking about foot traffic. We're talking about badge sales. If you just have people there and they see what you have to offer, they will take interest, because they're at a Black convention and they're going to automatically want to support their own one way or another. So it's just a matter of getting people aware that there are Black conventions and that people would want to come. Now, the reason why Blurred and Powerful is working with Blurred Station is because Blurred Station is a Black-owned streaming service that is focusing on the Black nerd. Whereas we have our own independent original IP, our own creative team, and all that stuff. So we're not pulling from anybody else. We're not just having you can go to the Brick TV or even BET Plus or even All Black, and they have movie packages How Stella Got Her Groove Back, or The Inkwell, or they have those packages. Whereas we're going to be providing content that is specifically for the Black nerd. How do we zero in on that, right? We zero in on that by bringing in content creators. At least we've already started doing that already have a following. And those people who follow those content creators will then turn themselves into subscribers from followers. So, and the content creators are actually going to have shows on Blurred Station. So therefore they're catering to their specific demographics, the people who have followed them from TikTok or from Instagram or YouTube or whatever. And the biggest difference with us is that we are not YouTube. We are not TikTok. We are akin to Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix, where it is people are being able to select what they want to watch. And instead of just providing a whole bunch of crap the way that Netflix, let's say, does, we're providing the stuff that people actually want to see, representing Black people in a way that they have not been used to seeing before.
Right.
And people love seeing Black people in speculative fiction and in power, because you can go right back to Dralta versus Annette, and everyone was losing their minds with Castlevania, this last couple of weeks or whatever, and seeing those two Black women, who had one happened to be a vampire and the other one was a vampire hunter, they were going at each other and they loved it. You know what I mean? So if we see more representation of that, then we have people who are definitely going to be diehard fans of what we put out there. And again, if I say the words endless waltz and space opera, but Black, that immediately tells you what I'm going to send you later. All right?
I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing.
Okay, but that's what it is. That's what we're planning on.
I'm excited.
That's what we're planning on putting out there. And dude, they look amazing. So if we're talking about being able to help the community in more than one way, as far as Black conventions and Black or blurred streaming service or whatnot, myself, I'm going to have a show on Blurred Station that is focusing on getting comic book creators their first book published. And so it's called Issue 1, where we are basically going to be taking a whole bunch of pitches where people will come to Black-owned conventions. They have to, one, be a member of Blurred Station, and then pay for a badge in order to get into the Black convention, because we're trying to help the Black convention grow, right? So
That's
you
true.
pay for a badge, you're a member of Blurred Station, you can pitch to us your comic book that you want to be made into a first publication. And that's $5,000 to $10,000 that you will not have to use Kickstarter for. You just have to pitch your ass off to get it. And then we would help you with that. We would supply you with anything that you need, but you need to have certain deadlines met. You know what I mean? We have creators who are already doing it, being able to look over things with you, to talk with you, to help guide you. And then we go back to another Black-owned convention, sell your book. You get all the proceeds from that, and now you're off to the races. Now you're able to get your second book out, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, we are offering an 18-month to 24-month option to make your book into a live action or animated property on Blurred Station.
What?
If we like it that much, we're going to want to have that as content on Blurred Station. So again, we're trying to promote this person having their first publication being sold at a Black convention, and it's going to be an exclusive copy, that you can only get at that Black convention. Therefore, that should drive more people to the convention so that they can help the convention grow, help this content creator grow, this comic creator grow. And then once we have, once we're done with that first issue is going to immediately on Blurred Station exclusively, as if it was like a comicsology situation. So you'd be able to read it, So we do have avenues of being able to give to the community, because we need the community to thrive, So when I talk about give, the first 100,000 subscribers of Blurred Station get stock and equity within the company, right? Now, true, you got fan base, you got Black Sands, and you got, Legion M that offer the same deal. But what makes us different? What makes us different is that we're actually going to be paying out dividends to you while you still hold your stock. As we get subscriber membership milestones, we will pay you to entertain you. You know what I mean? So we're asking people to pay $10.99 a month for 36 months to earn that equity. Soon, and again, that's less than what other people are asking for when it comes to investing in something. But yet we are still guaranteeing that we are going to pay you. Like what I just learned a few weeks ago was that Blurred Station is the first station. There's going to be more different demographics, different niches that we are going to tap into in order to help the company grow. And these first 100,000 subscribers that get Blurred Station off the ground are going to be getting monetary benefits dividends as each station grows in number. So just imagine you getting in on Hulu or Netflix as a part owner, and you are getting paid to watch the entertainment that you essentially paid for.
Wow.
As these streaming services prices grow, like they go up, like right now, like this, I got an email yesterday talking about Disney Plus. I paid like $140 when I first got it, for the first 3 years. Now I'm paying damn near $139 for just 1 year. And Netflix has gone up to almost over $20 a month now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when we're offering a specific type of user-generated content of $1 million of movies and television shows and all this stuff for $10.99. And it's going to be reflective of who you are, because we see you as us. Like I said, there is nobody else out there that is putting together a space opera / endless waltz. If you are a Toonami fan, then you know endless waltz means something to you. And then the words black people together. Nobody's doing that, and we've already done it. You know what I mean?
I'm definitely going to. I can't wait to see what this is going to be like. I can't wait.
Yeah, I got it on my phone, and it's just fucking dope. But yeah, like there are things that we're doing for us because we need it. We need different hooks. And what's great about this, and what's scary about it, is that we have, like, my entire job for Blurred Station has been just talent acquisition. I've been talking to people. I've been gathering content creators. Some of them, the amount of followers that these content creators have amassed to about 12 million people. And once they get started in their promotion, because it's really been me in like Blurred's Eye View and Do You Speak Geek, like there's only been a few of us talking about it. But once they get going on their thing, then those 100,000 spots, I hope, run up quickly. And I'm trying to give people the opportunity to get in on this now before these people start cooking. Because I know King Lion, he's a part of Blurred Station. If you're familiar with him on TikTok,
yes,
he's a part of it because we have agreed to make his book Flame into an anime. You know what I mean? So if he can move his followers into being subscribers, his Lion Pride, then it's a done deal for a good chunk of that 100,000 subscribers. So
now you saying this is $10 a month, $10.99 a month,
$10.99 a month, yeah, and it's not going up.
And you have after like a year, right? Am I correct? You get a.
Oh no! The 3 years, 36 months.
After 3 years,
yeah,
you get a badge. Right?
Yeah. You get your automatic. I have made it 36 months. I'm a part owner of Blurred Station.
That sounds like a good idea to me, guys. I'm just saying.
I'm saying, like, generational wealth doesn't really exist in the Black community en masse.
Yes.
You can say it's because of racism. You can say it's because of institutionalized racism or because of slavery. Whatever. This is the way we not solve the problem, but help the solution along.
Yes.
And as I said before,
making excuses.
So making excuses or complaining that you are not getting the treatment you deserve. We are being the change that we deserve. We are being the change that we want to see by offering people money to be a part of something so that they can thrive, and therefore everyone thrives. There's no reason for people to be greedy if we're all trying to help each other get to a place where, we're not living paycheck to paycheck. We're not living in halfway impoverished, situations. Why it needs to be a badge of honor to come from the projects. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different things that we have had to show pride in so that we would not feel like we were in dire straits, that we don't deserve to live like that.
No. This sounds like a wonderful opportunity for anybody who wants to do more,
and I know, themselves. And the thing is, I know we've had a lot of bad actors, you know,
Mhm.
that have come through snake oil salesmen, you know. And again, I'm openly against Black Sands in the way that they have done everything that they've ever done. You know what I mean? The way that dude, man, I call him Little Manny, the way that he talks shit about, you know, the Blurds, that's you do not realize that that's your demographic, my guy. Like you're
Yeah.
talking shit about your fan base. Like, what are you doing? You know, or the way that he attacks, you know, Black women or and stuff like that. It's just like, you know, the Mighty Z, you know, he does all this, and yet he still has a very ardent fan base that hasn't gotten anything.
Right.
You know, they've gotten books, yeah, but he's been promising an anime for like 2-3 years now. And, you know, and his biggest issue, like if you're on the business side of things, you can see he has no distribution model. That app he had failed because what was it? You know what I mean?
I didn't even know that.
Right. You know, so that Forbes, because it was a Forbes article that detailed how the Shark Tank deal failed.
Okay, see, I was just about to bring up Shark Tank because
you can be on the show, but he didn't. But that was just a handshake deal. And when it came down to the specifics, that Forbes article detailed that things fell through between he and Kevin Hart, and I can only imagine why.
I remember Kevin Hart said he has his own studio that they can, you know, do that stuff. That, you know,
if that was the case, then someone must have not know how to talk to someone else. And you see how he conducts himself. So you can only think, the math can only math one or two different ways. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, and so as someone who's been looking at this entire situation and seeing how we can do better or how we can do different, again, we're offering dividends. We have the way that our timeline is. And by the end of October, we hope to have that 100,000 subscribers. You know, so that in November we can start the pre-production and pre-planning of these shows. We are filming in December, and so that we can start. So we drop the app in January as well as with content. You know what I mean? Like that's the level that we're moving on. I'm filming the first episode of issue 1 at J1Con, November 3rd to the 5th. You know what I'm saying? That's like in 3 weeks. You know, and we're still. We're still having Zoom meetings. We have our production company, you know, that Always Press Records coming up from Texas. You know, and this is things that are happening. We are doing this. You know, we're not just taking in money and sandbagging. We are moving with this. So we completely understand the conspiratorial nature of Black folks because people have screwed us over so many times. I've been sold so many different rivers or so many different bridges. It's been ridiculous. But this was the first time that I really took my time to really look at the company, because they approached me back in November of last year, and it took me until March of this year to jump on board. You know, and I've been running with it at every convention. I mean, I went to San Diego, started talking about it, was getting contacts, was getting, you know, and things have been moving. And now we're at a place where we got Ben Ramsey on. And Ben Ramsey is the individual who directed Blood and Bone. You know, and he's more than willing to talk to Michael Jai White, you know, about getting on. And that's 1 degree away from Tyler Perry.
And you know what? And he has this, and Michael Jai White is from Connecticut, just saying. Yeah. He just moved his studio over here to New Haven, over here by Yale. You know, I'm waiting for that because I'm trying to get a job over there. But
think about
beautiful.
That. He would have access to new IP stuff that we're funneling to him. You know, and he would have some level of control because he's a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's somebody who knows about that experience and give advice and all that. It's him. I mean, look at Black Dynamite. I mean, jeez.
Yeah.
But God,
you know what I mean?
It's there. He does.
So as this is happening, we have other Hollywood partners that are, as soon as this actor strike is over with, you're going to start seeing a lot more Blurred Station come from celebrities. And again, the 100 and these are things that are outside of my purview, you know, but we are connected to folks who have those connections, and they like how serious we are. They like who's running it, because like it's a former Hasbro executive that owns the company.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And then like there's a couple of like current Netflix executives that are partnered with the company. Like in every
hands.
I mean,
good hands.
Yeah, and like hell, we've made some adjustments based on what Homeboy has said, you know, and the only thing we got to do now is just execute, you know, get the people on and make sure that they are entertained. We have shows. There's this one show that we pitched to Aldous Hodge, right? Because he's a part of 9B Collective. Like, if you've been following my cosplay career, when I did
Hawkman,
I did Hawkman, I actually got shared by Aldous because people tagged him enough on it, right? From there, I met Phil at San Diego Comic-Con. Well, I didn't meet him, but he knew who I was, whatever. He then connected, and then Phil is the co-founder of 9B Collective, which is the concept studio that does all the concept designs for Marvel, DC movies, and all that stuff, right? Like they exclusively did the concepts for Blue Beetle, right? But they were also they also had their hands in Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. You know what I mean? Like, they've been around for a while. So thing is, Phil reached out to me, you know, after San Diego Comic-Con 2022, because he was the one who pulled me into running into Aldous Hodge, you know, because I didn't realize that they was there. So I've met him at San Diego. There's video of us like chopping it up. And then fast forward to the Black Adam premiere in New York. I'm there talking to Aldous Hodge again in full Hawkman regalia, and I handed him a flash drive about Blurred and Powerful. And I said, Black-owned comic book conventions could use your help. He was like, oh, I'm with it. And then from there, Phil reached out to me through Instagram. And apparently he had been following me for so long, and I didn't know it, because you don't know who these people are and who follow you or whatever. So unless they say something. And so I pitched, you know, I was able to talk to him, became really good friends with him. And then I talked to him about Blurred Station in like April or May of this year. And he connected with Kevin, who owns Blurred Station. And now 9B Collective is a strategic partner of Blurred Station. There was a meeting between Kevin, Phil, and Aldous before the actor and writer strike. Aldous saw this one show that we're doing. He liked it so much that he said, I'm going to shop this at Amazon Prime. So, and then he became an instant producer on the show, you know, and since the strike has happened, he hasn't been able to talk about anything. If that's going to end sometime this week, hopefully, then we should start seeing movement on that, you know. But if we're going to have people talk about Blurred Station, and they be celebrities, whether they be, you know, large content creators or whatever, I'm trying to get folks in on Blurred Station now before it gets to a point where they're not able to get that equity that they should get, because all the spots are already taken up.
Well,
you know,
the words of what's his name from RoboCop, I'll buy that for $1.
And see, and that's the thing, like
you got me in this now.
You can really track, like, you can track everything that I've ever done and everything I've posted on Instagram, and see the truth is right there. Like, the evidence is right there. Who I'm connected to, who's willing to talk to me, who's willing to take pictures with me, and all that stuff. It's right there. You know, so if you don't, if people, I like to think people follow me and understand what I'm saying, because they see that I'm really transparent. You know, that you can see the evidence of my work right there. You know, so if Blurred Station takes off the way that I think is going to, you know, this is the new Black Hollywood. You know, and if we're going to get Tyler Perry a part, then come on, like, it. You know, he's a Blurred because this man was in Star Trek as an admiral, and you know, he might
he even bothered to play a big part. He just like, I want to be in Star Trek. I just want to be in
it, right?
Yeah, I don't care what you're gonna be in.
So if we're able to, if we can get him in some,
anything is possible. This day and age, I feel like it's 10, 20 years ago, we was not able to get in contact with certain people like in different walks of life, especially in like entertainment. You have to talk to agents over agents and get meetings or whatever, or you got to jump over hoops to try to do it. But now it's become such an easier way, and especially in the blur community, being it's becoming a lot easier to get in touch with other people that know somebody. A lot, you don't have to go through like 6 degrees of separation to get in touch. You get in touch with somebody. You just have to know one person, maybe, or just
at
hit
least
a
2
DM.
degrees. At least 2 degrees. Yep.
And it just it's become that easy and more convenient now, and that's the best thing about the situation, because you maybe got to talk to maybe 1 or 2 people, and you might get a call back within that week. With before it was like you might get a call within 6 months, just as like they said no, or they whatever the case may be.
Right.
But you had to wait. Now it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
When I was at San Diego this year, I ran into Mr. Jimmy. Mr. Jimmy is the guy who has written is the black man who has written the most Star Trek episodes ever. Right? Ooh. I was able to call him last week, and I was like, "Listen, we want your endorsement for Blurred Station." And he was like, "Well, I'm gonna need to look at it and whatnot, because it sounds a little iffy. You know what I mean? I need to see the XYZ." I was like, "Well, I understand. Like, we have some people that's already on board that can talk to you that you trust." He was like, "Well, who do you have?" And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure you're friends with Kevin Grievous, the guy who was like the comic book creator and the big werewolf in Underworld." And he was like, "Yeah, I got a project with him."
Yes.
Yeah, the dude with the deep voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the fact that I remember him, that he was the creator of the whole thing, that was like shocked me years ago. I was like, that guy, he did this. I've been a fan of his since.
He was like, "Oh yeah, I'll call him. I'll call him." I'm like, "All right, cool." There's someone, Steven, he's like, "I know Steven too." I'm like, "Okay." So talk to them, and just because the night that I met him, he was already drunk. And we had a great rapport. We were talking at a club or whatever. I pulled him outside. He got some air. He sobered up a little bit. And he started telling me about all the different projects that he's doing and where in his mind the future is. And I'm not gonna tell this man's business, but he's working. And the fact that I'm able to call someone up like that is steeped within Hollywood, that is really, that kind of, this is where we are. This is where we're growing. It's no longer just doing a cosplay because it's something I want to do. Now it is organizing and managing resources so that the Black community can benefit from Black creatives doing something out of, yes, they're going to get paid, but out of something that means something so much more than just working for white folks that will want to only want to tell a certain type of story that will appeal to middle America, whereas we are talking to ourselves. There is no code switching. There is no diminishing of the quality, or because we all saw Black Lightning. We saw what it was in the beginning, and then we saw what it turned into, because they were trying to get as many people on as possible, and that means changing the narrative to a degree. We've seen the cancellation of Lovecraft Country. We've seen the cancellation of Watchmen. You know what I mean? Whether it was a one-off or not, the fact that they canceled it as opposed to just saying it was a limited series, that let us know that they were trying to, they wanted to do more. There was more story to tell. There was more stories, because I became a huge fan of Lovecraft after watching it and knowing the story of what the director of the show, the creator of the show, what she had, and for the next season was going to be amazing. And I was like, oh, if they would have let this happen, if they would have let this go down, what she had, the blueprint of what she wanted to do, the concept was amazing. And I'm like, oh. And see, things like, there's a New York Times article that actually details that Hollywood proper leaves $10 billion on the table every single year because they choose not to invest in Black-led projects. So they're allowing either racism or their lack of understanding of who we are to leave them without money.
I always look at it. I always say, why is it that one? You know, when it comes to black movies, the ones that get all the awards and whatnot. I could go a whole tangent about this stuff because it'll always irk me. The ones that always get the awards over the years has always been the ones where it's the struggle porn of it all. You know, the we have to overcome, we have to the slavery one,
or you're the magical Negro where you're helping
that
out a
one
white guy.
too. Yes, the magical Negro.
The Green Book. Yeah.
Yes, it's like there's always been those types, but then they get shocked when you have movies like Black Panther show up, you know, or they come out, and it's like very few often movies like The Equalizer, which could have been played by, well, in fact, it was originally played by a white man on the TV show, but that character could be played by anybody. You got Queen Latifah playing The Equalizer on the show, so it's but it could be any person, but like an actual black cast led by a black actor with a full black cast, whatever. It's just like they don't put the money into it because you see why. I mean, you see what the money you put into all black movies. You see them on Tubi. You're like they don't get it's not the same amount of like budget, and I believe that wholeheartedly. Some of these people are trying their best, but like for what they're given or whatever. You get
what we had
the movies like that.
We had like Mantis, my guy.
Oh my God! Why you do this? Don't do this! Don't mess with me right now! Don't mess with me, bro.
Carl Lumbly did the best that he could. Like, yeah, I remember. All right.
I love that show because I'm like, he did more. That man did more for showing people like this is the man. For a handicapped superhero. Then people was like, oh, the dude from the Avatar was having no, Manson started it. He got beat, he got shot during the LA riots. This is what happened to him. But come on now, you want to bring up Manson like this? That's why I forever love. This is why I will forever love Eric Moran for bringing the Mantis cosplay to light. Over the years, like, because he was like, he broke it out. I'm like, this dude keeps bringing up my childhood, but
because that's when you think about it, that was like we were in our bag in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like we were in a creative space where we could be who we want to be in the best way possible because they were benefiting off of our work.
Yeah,
like, you just look at UPN, or look at Fox. You know what I mean? Like all these hell, NBC.
But like we had budgets though. There was, even though there was not as how can I say, like we had our movies, but they had budget. Mm-hmm. They put money towards, like, you had Dead Presidents, you had The Inkwell, you had Why Do Fools Fall in Love. We had these certain black films that was black led, and they had a budget. But somehow, I don't know where we fell off, after like ATL or something. Like, I don't know what happened. But you stopped getting the budgets like we used to. And now we get movies just looks like it's been done on an iPhone 5. I
mean, we only get like maybe like 3 or 4 movies a year.
Yeah, if there's not a struggle movie. Yeah. That's the thing. If they're not a struggle movie or the white savior situation in the movie, it's just it's just annoying. But that's why I like how we have like certain movies like now, like John David Washington, Denzel's son, got this new sci-fi movie out. He's leading the cast, the creator, but it's still an ensemble, but it's not, he's still lead actor. But like I said, like a lot of the budget movies we're not getting like we used to. And we have these movies just like, you can literally, black movies on Netflix, and they all look like the same budget.
Yep.
They're a little bit more than the Tubi movies, some of them. But
let's not even talk about Tubi. Now,
I mean,
have you seen that clip where the woman woke up out of bed?
The broom?
No, not the broom, but the
Oh.
twins that she gave birth to, and they were like, and they were Cabbage Patch dolls or something or another.
Oh my god!
And they were white.
Did you see the one where the girl was choking the guy out, like in the bed, like she was choking him out, like where her leg, or whatever? It was one guy with
It
no.
turned to be someone else.
Yeah, and like the next clip, the next shot was somebody with braids, smaller build, and then the next shot after that was like, come on now.
I had to ask a question because actually one of the videos that I made got back to one of the directors of that movie with the broom, right?
Oh
and I'm like, are y'all doing this on purpose? Like, is this something? Is Tubi a comedy channel? Like, are y'all like Second City? Like, is this a thing? Is this a thing that Tubi wants you to make? Because this seems like it's on purpose.
It has to be.
What I mean? Like, it's.
What did he say, dude?
I don't know.
I mean, because it has to be some of the stuff. It's like I love a good bad movie any day. I would love a good bad movie, but some stuff is like, this can't be real. You can't be. Come on, you could come on, man, no. But but yeah, like yes. God, what was talking about? Yes, I mean, like, you messed me up with Mantis. I can't believe you said Mantis, bro. I tell you.
But I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we're trying to bring to light in a better budget, because like we've got deals with comic book creators like Wingless Comics or even Ace Blade. Ace Blade could very well be the new Mantis. He's based in like the martial arts, and well, I can't say new Mantis because he doesn't have any like special gear or anything like that, but it's still the idea of a black story about a black man that's living in America as a black man, and is not being diluted in any kind of way to capitulate to what white people want to see. It's not for that. It's not for them. We have an anime called Robo Lobo, where it's based on a black man that happens to be half Cuban. So you're getting the Latino community involved because they are being represented in that certain way. There's a lot of things. I mean, hell, we have a show where the villain of the story is a 10-year-old girl who was on the spectrum, who has the mentality of Ultron, where she comes to the realization through her intelligence that people need to go. You know what I mean? And how did she do that? She's actually the Dr. Frankenstein of that series. So she's creating monsters, but she's also the sort where she can't stop learning. And actually, I met someone at DragonCon who is a 45-year-old woman who has the same mental X-Men power. We're just gonna call it. It's an X-Men power. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's the same thing on the spectrum, where she's got like 3 PhDs, 2 masters, can speak 3 languages, and like this show would represent her just at a young age. Like that is amazing. You know what I mean? Like mutants are real. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I do believe that they are. One of my good friends, I call him, he's an X-Men baby. He's like 4 or 5 years old. And already looked like he's a teenager. It's like, that is an X-Men baby. He is strong. He is. They made like a little cape and everything for him, like when he was a baby, like it was like a little picture. And I'm like, that definitely is a Superman baby, because this baby is that. He's not from here. He's from a different planet. He can pick everybody up. He's like his word. He's built like a teenager. He's only like 5, like 4 or 5. It's crazy. He's a tall kid.
So we're getting ready to wrap this up, but what I want you to do is I want to have a live reaction from you, from what I just sent you, of what's going to be on Blurred Station. Okay. All right. You can turn it down, you can turn it up, but because no one will know exactly what's being. Oh,
you just sent it?
Yeah.
Email or
Instagram.
IG. Okay.
It's in your. Okay. It's in. I told you I was gonna send the vanishing mode to you,
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
but see,
All right, you know what?
because I want people to know that the hype is real.
Okay. Okay. I got you. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm about to look at it right now. Hold up.
And this is the finished animation for this trailer.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it down. I don't want nobody to hear it.
But you know.
All right. Live reaction.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Can you hear it? Can you at least hear some of it?
Yeah, I can hear it. Hold up.
Okay. Looks kind of smooth, don't it? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, guys, I'm watching this. I'm letting you guys know.
His eyes gets a little bigger every now and then. Yeah, he rocking to the music a little bit. It's bringing back some memories.
Yeah.
Eyes just got real big. The eyes just got real big. Why the eyes get big? Did you see something that you like? Did you like it? It's okay.
I need more. I need more to it.
You need
is
more.
Wait. Is it?
And that's in vanishing mode, my guy. So that we're gonna have to. Here you go.
But wait, hold up. Wait. Okay, one. It's beautiful.
What do you think about the color scheme?
I love it. It reminds me of. Oh man.
Yeah. And so when I say 360 deal is happening, we're talking about like action figures and manga and all that stuff.
Let me just. I know you put it on vanishing mode, but I'm gonna turn it down just so I keep looking at it. Because I know once I let it, when I take it down, it's gonna be gone.
Yeah. I can't wait. I cannot wait to show everyone what's being worked on, because
guys, I'm gonna tell you right now. All right, so what I just saw, the animation is great.
Mm-hmm.
The colors is great, smooth as shit. Like, it gives me the look of like, what can I say? You know what? I can't, because honestly, I can't. It would give out something. I can't even get out there.
No. You know how smooth Static was on his the manhole when he was like,
yes.
That's what that gave me. You know, as far
this gives me a good Toonami vibe.
Yeah.
A great Toonami, like, honestly, like they showed me they showed a trailer for a new show coming on to Toonami.
Or Tom talking.
Yes, and he's announcing this as a new show, and I'm like, ooh, word. Ooh, I want to see that. I want to see what that's about.
Some Outlaw Star shit, dude.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, you did this. Yeah.
That's all I needed to show. That's all I needed you to let me to confirm.
It's gone, guys. It's gone.
That this is what's exclusively coming to Blurred Station.
It's vanished.
And it's gone. Yeah, I know.
It's gone. Right. And I want more. And the thing is, you put Air Force Ones.
And that's the name of the show.
Song.
That's the name of the series is AF1.
But that's dope. But still, I mean, it makes sense now you say, but still, it's just like one of my favorite St. Lunatic songs. You know, like one of the best albums ever. Okay, you know what?
See,
well,
we're not playing no games, my guy.
I'm sorry. The animation is great. The color scheme is great. It's just real smooth, y'all. It's real smooth, and I wish I could tell you more. It's something that you would definitely watch on Toonami.
Yep,
definitely would look at.
I keep saying endless
Toonami, or it could have fit in like is it JetX that had like
JetX was Fox Kids, right? That was JetX.
It was like the older. It was like because they had I remember they had the what is it, the Tron Legacy show.
Yeah. Okay.
At the time. like that time frame where they had shows on it a little bit. I can kind of see if it could kind of fit there too. But like, because Tsunami was gone at the time, so oh yeah, this go hard. This go hard. I'm just saying, it go hard. All right, let me not gushing over there because I'll be mad because I'm gonna be thinking about this more. But what I saw, God, I want to say what I want to say. No, I can't say it. So I'm gonna hold it out. I'm gonna tell you afterwards. After we're done with this pod. And you know what? So I can talk to this man about this. I gotta tell you guys, thank you for watching and listening. However you're digesting this video, this audio. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to vibe with us. Thank you to the one and only HellSpawned himself, Demetrius Holt.
I appreciate you having me. And like, I just want to make sure that I gave you something other than just my opinions on stuff. Like, you invited me here. Let me give you something. Again, give the way that Blurred Station thinks. I wanted to give you something.
I am overwhelmed with so much right now. Like, I am so overwhelmed. Like, I always say I want these shows to like feel like not just an interview, but we just shooting the shit, just we vibing out. It's like if I don't want to keep too much of a person's time because I know people got things to do, but if it happens to go longer than what it is, that's fine too. Because it's, oh no, that's fine. It's because because I care about the other person's time, your time, because I don't want to, you might have things to do and stuff. But so I appreciate, you taking the time, giving some of your date, for this interview. And it's proven that we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about after this, boy. I tell you.
Because I actually have to hit the bathroom.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching this. And you can find this man on what platforms right now?
Really, you can, as far as websites go, blurredstation.com or blurredandpowerful.com for the list of Black-owned comic book conventions throughout the country. As far as social media goes, HellSpawned_cosplay, and then on TikTok, HellSpawned. And everything that I do, I pretty much post it everywhere. So yeah, I look forward to interacting with everyone.
Yes, and guys, do that. Follow this man. Hit up and check out Blurred and Powerful, Blurred Station, and like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. We out, okay? We about to go. We both got it. Actually, I got to use the bathroom myself too. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to be yourself. I keep forgetting my own freaking phrase. So I'm going to just say, I'm out. This is Blur. This is BearatNight Podcast. Love you guys. See you next week. Peace.
Listening to BearatNight Podcast. Your host, Jurassic Parker.